Hello and welcome to the sports segment here of the Kolby Sinclair Show. I'm your host, Jared Taylor, here with Jason Osei.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. A former football player for Texas A&M Commerce who is hoping to make it big with the NFL, the CFL, anything like that. So Jason, first of all, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me here.
So you were recently in the Lone Star Conference's Pro Day where a bunch of NFL scouts and even a few CFL scouts came to look at your performance and stuff like that. Could you tell us a little bit about the process of what Pro Day does, since it's kind of like a smaller version of the NFL Combine?
Well, as you touched on, it is pretty much a smaller version of the NFL Combine. Gives the scouts a chance to come to our school and see individuals who might have not been able to go to the Combine in Indianapolis, showcase their skills, and also a chance for them to kind of get to know us, get to know the other schools, because it wasn't only for Commerce, it was for all the Lone Star Conference schools, as well as a few schools from the Southland Conference as well, who couldn't host a Pro Day. But, I mean, for us NFL hopefuls or us pro hopefuls, it was just a good opportunity for us to show all our hard work and how it's been paying off.
Now, for hard work and whatnot, did they have everyone run the same drills, or did they pull you aside to, for your certain positions, or how does that work?
So they had said to us that they were going to run us through all the drills in the weight room. They were going to run our 40s. After we run our 40s, they're going to make a bunch of cuts, and then those guys will go on to either go to drills or go on to, finish the rest of the drills. And I was one of the ones that was selected because I think it was only 10 of us. And in the end, I went to go on to run my eye test, my 3-cone, and then go and do some O-line drills with the NFL scouts.
Well, that's really interesting there. So, you were, I believe, a tackle, correct?
I actually was testing for all 5 positions in the O-line.
Okay, so they had you run some center drills as well.
Exactly.
Like, you're definitely built to be an NFL center.
Yeah.
But,
Hopefully.
So, after they do all the drills and evaluate you, how do they do the process of saying, like, you're going to the draft or you're an undrafted free agent? How does that work?
I mean, really, it's just on the conversation of the agents, draft stock. I knew coming from a D2 school, smaller school, that probably it might not be as likely as a lot of the D1 prospects, because there were a lot of good prospects coming out this year, actually. And so with that, it's just about staying prepared, just gauging how you did, and then seeing if you're going to get the opportunity to actually be able to go and compete at the next level.
So we talked about, the CFL also being there. Is there a difference between like the NFL and the CFL, how that draft process works, or?
Yeah, I think the CFL draft will be this Saturday. I'm actually been listed as the BC Lions top O-line pick, in terms of once they go through camp and stuff, they're going to see how the rest of the O-line stack up, and I could take one of their spots. So I've been listed as their first reserve, as the guy put it. And so it's different. It's 12-man football. The field is bigger. It requires a lot more running. So I think I'm adapted to that. But I'm just going to stay working hard until I see whatever opportunity comes my way.
Well, thank you for joining us, Jason. Good luck with the CFL draft. Definitely it'd be great to see you for the BC Lions. And for the Texas A&M Commerce Lions, speaking of sports, we now want to throw it over to Thomas Kent and Ricky Moser as they will take us through the sports at Texas A&M Commerce here with Lion Athletics.
Thank you, Jared, and thank you, Jason, for joining us. The football team had a fantastic season, hosting and winning a playoff game, winning their 3rd consecutive Lone Star Conference title, so congratulations to them. Also, basketball, volleyball, having some pretty good seasons. And, of course, we just saw the new signing of Jarrett Von Rosenberg as our basketball coach. But we want to talk about the sports that are ending and wrapping up now here at the end of the semester. First, the men's golf team last weekend won the Lone Star Conference tournament. And the women's team got 3rd in the Lone Star Conference tournament. However, junior Wilfredo Sanchez, who was named Lone Star Conference Newcomer of the Year, will go on to play in the NCAA Division II South Central and West regional tournament at Brookside Country Club in Stockton, California. The top 2 advanced there, and they'll go to the Division II National Championship at the end of the month in Florida. What about track, Ricky?
Absolutely. It's been a long time since we got a chance to sit down and talk about track. There's a lot to get to. In that time that we last sat down, Gage Bowles has been named the Lone Star Conference Men's Field Athlete of the Week here at the East Texas Invitational here at A&M Commerce. He won the triple and long jump, and he was also part of the 4x100 meter relay team that took 3rd place at the meet with a time of just over 42 seconds. After that, the team went down to the Bobcat Twilight down in San Marcos, where Robbins earned a provisional qualifying mark in the women's discus throw with a toss of just over 48 meters. And then on the men's side, on the men's discus throw, Alexis put up a mark of just over 56 meters, which is the 3rd best in all of Division II this year. He also earned a provisional qualifying mark in the indoor weight throw, and he holds the record for that. And then, as of most recently, they stayed in San Marcos and participated in the Bobcat Classic. This was the Lions' final tune-up prior to the Lone Star Conference Championship, which we'll get to in just a second. And in that, with a limited number of participants, the Lion women finished in 8th place, and the men finished in 9th against a largely D1 field. And speaking of the Lone Star Track Championships, that will be hosted here at A&M Commerce May 4th through 6th.
Thank you, Ricky. Yeah, that Lone Star Conference tournament, we get to host that meet, and we've already seen them starting to set up.
Yeah.
Our sports information director, Josh Mank, doing a fantastic job there. But now that we're done reading about the sports we're not terribly involved with, you may know, if you follow Lions softball, we are 2 of the 3 broadcasters on the softball webcast, and we just had our final regular season game last night. Ricky, let's talk about last night's regular season finish. Probably the most exciting game in Lions softball history. It's a short history, but
right, it is a short history, but it's been a good history. It was a must-see game. I think it was probably, at least from the eye test, the most largely attended game of the season, home game at least, and it needed to be. It was a huge game. They won that game 13-11 over Texas Women's, and they took this series. A lot was on the line for them.
Yeah, it was a win-or-go-home game, and with Western New Mexico giving them that gift, getting their first and only conference win against A&M Kingsville, who is battling with us to try to get into the playoffs. They made this Sunday rain-out redo a win-or-go-home game, and, of course, they win. And I want to ask you your favorite moment of the season, but before we get there, let's go through that last play of the game. The Pioneers of Texas Women's University had a couple runners on base, and the batter hit one to the opposite field. Take us through Tyler Oppenheim's finish.
Yeah, Tyler Oppenheim, she usually plays second. Great player on the defensive side of the ball. It was kind of blooped over her shoulder. She had to go from her almost right to left, if you will, and it was just over her shoulder. She stretched it out, made the catch. That was out number 3 in the top of the 7th, and Lions got the win.
Mariah Jamison hit 2 home runs in the game and gave her 19th and 20th home runs of the season, which is first in the nation and by far a Texas A&M Commerce Lion record. Now they will advance to the playoffs because of that win, and that Lone Star Conference tournament is in San Angelo at Angelo State. They're hosting because they're the number 1 seed, and they play Cameron Friday at 11 o'clock. Coming up after this break, we'll have more of the Kolby Sinclair Show for you.